For over a century, the core rule of human behavior was supposedly simple. We pursue pleasure and we avoid pain. Psychologists like Sigmund Freud built entire schools of thought on this assumption. But if we only pursue pleasure, modern life doesn't make much sense. We spend hours scrolling social feeds that leave us anxious and miserable, while abandoning the gym routines we know will make us happy. When researchers look at blood flow in the brain using fMRI technology, they don't see a system driven by the pursuit of joy. Instead, they see a system entirely driven by the desire to escape discomfort. The carrot is the stick. Even the desire to feel good, craving, lusting, wanting, is itself psychologically destabilizing. It's an itch that demands immediate relief. If we don't recognize that our actions are actually desperate attempts to soothe invisible discomfort, we become highly predictable. We turn into easy targets for tech algorithms, and we endlessly sabotage our own long-term potential. Successful tech companies prioritize psychological relief over software features. They build tools that act as precision painkillers for specific internal itches. Silicon Valley builds these painkillers using a 4-step cycle known as the hook model: trigger, action, variable reward, and investment. The cycle starts with an internal trigger. These products are designed to ping you at the exact moment you feel a negative emotion. When you feel bored, you open TikTok. When you feel lonely, you open a dating app. The action is linked directly to soothing that specific discomfort. Once you take the action, the app delivers a variable reward. When you scroll a feed, you have no idea what you'll see next. That uncertainty forces your brain to engage and focus. Psychologists discovered this mechanism decades ago. When scientists like V.S. Skinner placed animals in test boxes, they found that giving a reward on an unpredictable, completely random schedule caused the animals to obsessively repeat the behavior. App engagement measures the efficiency of a product's anesthetic effect. High usage numbers prove the app is successfully numbing a user's specific brand of discomfort. If our brains are so eager to escape discomfort, why do we fail when we actively try to push through the friction of a new workout routine or a difficult project? The answer lies in a severe biological bottleneck. Right now, your brain is absorbing roughly 11 million bits of sensory information every second, but your conscious awareness can only process about 50 bits of that data. To survive this massive data deficit, your brain doesn't actually show you reality. It builds a simulation of the world based entirely on your prior beliefs and assumptions. Research by psychologists Martin Seligman and Stephen Meyer suggest helplessness is our actual biological default state. We begin life as helpless infants, entirely dependent on others for survival. Because doing nothing kept us safe in the past, the brain continues to prioritize passivity as the most reliable strategy for staying alive. When you try to start a hard new habit, your body sends physical signals of exertion, but a limiting belief, the assumption that you aren't strong enough or that you'll fail, forces the brain to interpret that raw physical signal as subjective suffering. Failure to reach difficult goals stems from a survival simulation. The brain interprets the friction of a new habit as a threat to its safety, triggering an evolutionary impulse to retreat into the comfort of what is known. The apps designed to capture your attention and the limiting beliefs designed to keep you safe are operating on the exact same loop. Both are exploiting your instinct to escape internal discomfort. To break this loop, you have to dismantle the simulation. Cognitive frameworks like inquiry-based stress reduction do exactly this by forcing you to examine the stories your brain is telling you. The process is mechanical. You write down a limiting belief, you ask yourself if it is absolutely, entirely true, and then you actively construct opposing perspectives. You treat the belief as a flexible tool rather than a permanent fact. Modifying these beliefs creates tangible physical outcomes. Researchers at Yale University tracked how psychological assumptions directly dictate biological health. They found that simply holding a positive belief about aging, viewing it as an opportunity for growth rather than an inevitable decline, extended a person's lifespan by an average of 7.5 years. That is a greater statistical impact than exercising, dieting, or quitting smoking. Your physical and mental limitations are often just evolutionary illusions. By learning to sit with your internal discomfort and rewrite the beliefs that cause it, you stop being a passive user in a tech company's algorithm, and you become the architect of your own reality.